Hello everyone, welcome to my nature diaries. As you can see, we're going to be making some leaf prints using these real leaves, these actual leaves that I have here, and I am really excited about how this turned out, so let's get started. I went ahead and made a drawing of oak leaves on the left hand side, and on the right I'm going to be going and putting in these leaf prints using leaves that were found on walks, hikes, and then even some from our own front yard. Making these leaf prints is a great way to make art without being stressed at all about drawing. I'm just going to make a quick practice and using this Memento bamboo leaves stamp pad and taking my leaf, we're going to take the underside so we get all that veining there, and we're going to be using that using the stamp pad to make this leaf into an actual stamp. It's a little messy because we're having to hold it. There's no block in between, but you can see it took the ink really well. Carefully lay your leaf flat on the paper, and then taking some scrap paper or material, you can just lay that over it gently, and that way you can get great contact with it and you can rub it in, and it keeps your hands cleaner for sure. Now before we lift it, I'm going to take a mechanical pencil and I'm going to extend the lead as long as I can without breaking it, and then I'm going to just very lightly trace around the stamp or this leaf. And that's kind of the secret for me with this whole stamp printing technique, is that you don't lose any of the leaf shape, and it just gives you confidence with the whole print. And I think it turned out really well. Nice little impression with that, and the tracing really helps. Now on to our regular layout. You can go ahead and pick whatever leaf and leaf shape that you want to use, or leaves. I like to use odd numbers, and I'm just going to work and tweak until I get the right combination and the right spacing really. And the colors don't matter because I can add different colors to the leaves later. There's room over on the left for some text and a text box, and I think it balances nicely. So going ahead with what we just did previously, I'm going to just go ahead and make my little ink prints in the same way I showed you in the practice one. When you trace your leaf, don't worry if it shifts a little bit or if it's not perfect. You're just trying to get the general shape of the leaf, and it gives you confidence to be able to paint later. I left the stems off of the leaves for now because I will figure out their placement later. But I wanted to let you know that this is a great way to, when you trace something, when you print it, to make art that stretches you a little bit if your drawing skills don't feel very strong or you don't feel super confident. Taking my paint palette, I'm going to go ahead and start painting these, and I'm going to be adding layers in with alizarin crimson, yellow ochre, you'll see burnt sienna, burnt umber, sap green, I believe, and I'm going to be adding layers at a time, and I'll be working on different leaves at a time. And I'm going to really make this a mixed media type of painting because I'll be adding some ink, a little bit of ink work, as well as uniball, white uniball. I'll be adding that much later on, but I'm going to be using a little bit of everything to get the impression that I want to come across with on these leaves. How many layers you add to your painting is completely up to you, but I'd encourage you to take a leaf like I'm doing and lay it next to you and just have fun adding colors and experimenting, doing a little wet on wet, and then letting those layers dry and doing a glaze with another color. But just keep trying until you get something that you like, and you might have to do 10 leaves before you know exactly what you like, but you'll find that it's such a fun and relaxing process. What's great about these leaves is that for a nature journal, they're botanically correct because you're tracing them, and most of the print is there, and so the stress again of trying to recreate it or draw it is off of you. So have fun with the painting part. It's really like making your own little coloring pages. You don't just have to use fall leaves to make these little paintings. You can use any kind of botanical leaf that you find. You can make a stamp out of it and do the same kind of technique with waterproof ink. These splatters are with burnt umber, but I'll be adding alizarin crimson as well. I'm looking at the shadows with this leaf here to kind of get an idea of where to put my shadow line, and I'm taking a mix of colors, adding some browns in with those alizarin and yellow ochres, and I'm just working on trying to come up with an impression of shadows, and I'll be tweaking this as I go as well. You don't have to add shadows, but I strongly suggest just trying it. And look at a leaf laying flat on a piece of paper. It's not really as hard as you think, and just keep experimenting. The nice thing is you can blend out the edges, you can really work, and do different techniques to make the shadows look more realistic. I'll continue to add shadows and darken it as we go along here. Going back to that burnt umber, I'm just going to be adding a border, and you can see I'm going to be keeping my wrist still and using it to pivot to make a straight line. Taking this Derwent Line Maker 0.3, I'm just filling in some journaling information, and I want to invite you, if you haven't subscribed, liked, or commented, or shared any of my videos, I'd love to have you do that, and I'd love to hear from you, and let me know if you would want to try this technique. I was really pleased with how it turned out. Definitely let me know if you've tried this technique and you liked it, or if you had any suggestions with it. I tweaked the left hand side a little bit. I added some more reds just to match the right hand side, but I absolutely am crazy about this technique. I'm definitely using it again. Remember, you are amazing and creative. Till next time, bye.